This is Hagen Network Studio again. So thank you for watching the first video. And if you've not watched it yet, you can actually go and also try to subscribe to this channel. So you're gonna be getting more information about new courses I'm gonna be putting on. So our previous course was actually in VLAN routing, and um, we will be continuing that by adding few more devices. So it's going to be more easier for you if you've actually watched the previous video. So we would be adding a firewall on this lab. At the same time, we would be trying to connect to the internet. So the firewall configuration we'll be adding is not going to be very advanced. It's just going to be the basic firewall configuration. We'll also configure DHCP on the firewall for us to have a DHCP IP address on the devices. So let's start. I'm going to use the GNS3 switch today because it's quite more stable. So that's what we'll be using. If we don't need to make any configuration on the switch, this should be enough for this lab. Yeah. So I'm going to teach you how to put these devices in the VLAN. This is still VLAN 10 and this is 20. So let's do it this way. Reduce the size. Okay. So we'll put this. There's gonna be a firewall in between this anyway. So let me do this first. These are meant to be in VLAN 10, and this is meant to be in VLAN 20. Good. So let me tell you how to put this VLAN. Okay, sorry. So as you can see, this is on. Give me 1 second. Ethernet 0 on this, or Ethernet 0 on the switch. So I want to make sure this is correct. Good. All right. So now we can go ahead. So Ethernet 0 on the switch is meant to be on VLAN 10. You just have to do this and put this to VLAN 10. That's all you need to do. Click on add, and also for the second one, put it to VLAN 10. Add it. And the third one, which is E2, put it to VLAN 20. Add it, apply. Okay, so they are all in VLANs now, which is very easy. It's gonna do the same thing like when you're making the configuration we had in the first lesson. So now your firewall most of the time has to be in between your devices and the incoming traffic from the outside. So we would also put this. I'm not going to configure the management interface, but whatever we try to apply on interface, which is global, is definitely going to be on the management interface. So this is going to be on 3, and this is going to be going to the router. Good. Good. So now we would have to turn on the firewall. turn on the devices. And I'm going to make some configuration on this firewall. It might not be the regular configuration you guys are used to, but yeah, you will have to learn how to make this configuration for it to work. So starting from the bottom, we all know what we have to do next. The next step is going to be you making this a trunk port, and that's going to be on switch Ethernet port 3, trunk port. This is a trunk port, and that's all we need to do here. Let me check if that was correct. Okay, no, it was not. You always have to put an add trunk add. So it's changes, apply, okay. So now we're able to do that. Open the firewall. Let's see if it's done loading. Yeah, it's still loading, almost done loading. So what we're going to learn on this firewall is actually one of the most important thing on this lesson. We'll learn how to configure the firewall. We'll also learn how to put a DHCP on the firewall, and we'll generate the DHCP traffic on the firewall. This is it. Here we go. Okay, Cisco ASA firewall. So it has a different way to show the interfaces. So show, the regular one is show IP interface brief, but show interface IP. So you're gonna see that, and it's for show down. So we have to unshut this port first. I think it's still, yeah, interface GI0 slash shut. In this case, you might not see a log, but for on this firewall is where you don't need to go back to the exec mode for you to be able to show to run a show command. You can always run a show command anytime. It's hot. So because we're gonna be configuring a VLAN, so you can't just put the IP address on the physical interface. So we have to get a VLAN we have to get a sub interface for this VLAN. That is the sub interface. In this case, we don't need an encapsulation. As you can see, there's nothing like that. So what you have to do now is put it put this interface into a VLAN. VLAN 10. So it's already on the VLAN. So IP address .10.1. So you don't even need an exit. So you go straight away as well to the 20. So at the moment, you have to make sure you define each interface right. So we're going to do that for sure. But I want to also configure the second interface GI0/1. No shorts. IP address. We're going to use the physical interface because this is going to be something that is going to be forming some kind of routing with router 1. Let's use 30. In this case, it's going to be /30 because I want a point-to-point kind of address. Exit. So now, verify it. We already configured our interfaces, 2 sub-interfaces and 1 physical interface. So the next step now is for us to put a DHCP address on this firewall. But before we do that, we need to define our interface. Interface GI 0/0.10. You can name it as inside, but the security level is what matters. When you name one interface as inside, it's not going to allow you to name another interface inside. Name if inside. The security level is set to 100 by default. So we can also name the whole of the physical interface as inside. That's going to work as well, but I prefer to do it this way. So interface the 20. Let's try name if inside as well. You see, it says it's been assigned to that interface. So in that case, I would prefer to name it something else. But I will have to set the security level at this time. Name if I want to use fast. Sorry, that's what I would love to use. You can use whatever you like. So it's set to 0 because whatever is not inside, it should be outside. So I'm going to be the one to change the security level to 100. So it's still the same. So, but I'll have to always set different. Whenever I'm setting something from inside, I have to set also for this interface. Well, I intentionally choose this way, but you could also do it on the physical interface. Exit. So interface GI 0/1 name outside. I will not say that's 0, which is correct. I will not be configuring I will not be configuring object on this lab because we will not need that for the purpose of lab that I'm actually doing at this moment. So the next step is let's configure. Even before then, let's try to. I would love to show run gigabit. Hopefully that works. GI 0/0. Yes. So these are the challenges here. Let me show one of the old stuff, then we can find what we need. So 0/0. We're not we didn't put any name if there. So because of the VLANs, we actually configured sub interfaces and the name if are under the sub interfaces with the IP addresses. Good. So now let's configure the DHCP service. So DHCP, you have to put a D. That's how to get a DHCP command started. So DHCP D, you can always do this for you to understand what you're trying to put. So it's address, so it's going to tell you, you always do this to know what you want to do next. So now you have to put the addresses 192.168.10. We already have one for the gateway, so let's do two. So 192.168.10.254. Sorry. So you have to tell the route the firewall what interface do you want to apply this IP address. So remember we have this on the inside. That's all. So you will do the same for the FAST, which is the second subinterface. If you put it inside, it's going to tell you it's not in the same subnet. Let's do it. You can see it's not in the same subnet, so you for sure you will know you're wrong. So you already told it is subnet, so you have to change it. And I'm not gonna do a DHCP service for the third one because you're making a point-to-point connection of that. Now, and show DHCPD state interface inside, not configured for DHCPD. I'll tell you what this means. Fastly not configured, this is not configured. But when you go for statistics, it's going to tell you have two addresses in pool. So now you have to do one more thing. DHCPD enable inside. DHCPD enable fast. Now you've enabled DHCP. And this is how to configure DHCP on firewall. So now when we go to our end devices, IP DHCP, we already get a DHCP address. You see, that's it. And if you want to see how you're getting the discover, offer, request, and acknowledge, you would have to go to the firewall and let's turn on the debug. Could be level 1, level whatever, it's actually on. So I would also request for a DHCP and PC2, which is VLAN 10. We already have it. So now if you check this stuff, you see this is when it was sending the DHCP request and to the client and the offer. The DORA, you know what it means. So that's what you're seeing, discover, offer, and the request and the acknowledgement. This is DHCP acknowledgement. So yes, so that's the state, which is the DORA. So what's the next? So we have to go for the PC3 for VLAN 20. You would see that it's going to give PC3 a different IP address because it's actually on the VLAN for FAST IP. You see, it's actually given it a different IP address. Good. So, first stage done. Now we should be able to ping the gateways. Good job. So we should also be able to ping um, the gateway here. However, always know that the firewall as well acts like a router. When you show route, um, exit, show route. You already see it, they are all connected here. So